Lesson 3.11, Problem Solving with Decimals. The learning intention is to add and subtract money. Success criteria: understand the gist, reading 2 ways, determine what you need to find out, work the problem, in this case it's adding and subtracting, explain the sum or difference, meaning the answer to an addition or subtraction problem, and answer the question with the correct units of measurement. Things that you should know before the lesson is you should have reading comprehension skills. You should be able to add and subtract decimal numbers. Example problem. At the end of May, Mrs. Freeman had a bank account balance of $442.37. Since then, she has written a check for $63.92 and made a deposit of $350. Mrs. Freeman says she now has $729.45 in her bank account. Make a table to see if Mrs. Freeman is correct. First thing I do when I'm reading it 2 ways is I'm just understanding what's going on. I know in May, at the end of May, Mrs. Freeman has a certain amount in her bank account. She wrote a check, meaning that she's taking something out and giving something away. So she's writing a check. That means that's money that gets subtracted. It goes to somebody. And then she deposits money. And I know depositing means that she gets more extra money. So she's adding money in. Mrs. Freeman then says she has a certain amount left in her bank account after all of that. Let's read it again, understanding the numbers now. At the end of May, Mrs. Freeman had a bank account balance of $442.37. Since then, so I know this is where she started, and since then she did this stuff after. She has written a check for $63.92, so she gave this amount of money away to someone or paid someone. She made a deposit of $350. That means she gained money and she's adding money in. And Mrs. Freeman says she now has $729.45 in her bank account. So this is what she thinks she has after she started with this, got rid of this, and added this. So now now that I know what the problem is saying and what's going on, I determine what I need to find out. So the question, let's find it. It is right here. Make a table to see if Mrs. Freeman is correct. So I'm trying to see if Mrs. Freeman has $729.45 in her account, and I'm making a table to see if she's correct. So now I'm going to go ahead and start working the problem. When I work the problem, I know that I'm going to be making a table because that's what it says. And a table is simply just stacking your numbers, labeling your numbers, and trying to figure out what's going on. Most of the time, when you have a bank account, you're going to use a bank checkbook. It helps you to balance your money. So I'm going to go ahead and put $442.37, and I'm even going to put that as her starting balance. I could say starting, I could say beginning balance. So let's go ahead and say this is what she started with. We'll go ahead and put that start, and that's at the end of May. And then I know she wrote a check for $63.92. So I know the $63.92 is going to get taken away because it's a check, and a check must get taken away. So then I'm not going to label it as money because I already have labeled it that it's money. So then she makes a deposit of $353. So I know she's depositing money. We say D, and we put an adding sign because she is now adding $350 to what she has. And then we want to see what she ends with. We want to see if in fact she gets the $729.45. So her ending balance then should be $729.45. We're going to see then if she's correct. So the first thing we have to do is we have to add our two subtract our two numbers, because she had $442, and I'm going to just go ahead and do the work down here outside of my table that I made. And you can draw lines if you need to, because that's normally how a checkbook registrar, it's called, looks. However, I'm not going to draw lines. So if I'm subtracting, place value is always lined up. I would give 5. Don't forget to regroup. That is now a 1. 13 take away 9 now is 4. Hopefully that looks like 5. Decimal, I need to once again regroup. So that's a 3. 11 take away 3 would be 8. Once again, I need to regroup. And 13 take away 6 now is 7 and 3. So now so far, at the end of all of this, she has $378.45. After that, I know I need to add this amount, so I can go ahead and just keep adding to what I already have. $350 that she gets as a deposit. So I'm adding that amount in. So I know then she still has her 45 cents. She has $8. I'm regrouping that, 12, and I get 728. So I know right here then now she has $728.45. So this is the amount that she should have ended with. So now that I have all of this information, all of my work is done, let's explain our sum or difference. So the sum, or the amount that I got here after adding, was the amount that she had after making her deposit. The difference here was the amount that she had after subtracting the check and giving that money away. So now let's answer the question with the correct units of measurement. The question is, make a table to see if Mrs. Freeman is correct. It's more of a command though. So is Mrs. Freeman correct? I see that she should have $728.45 in her account. She says she has $729, so then I can say Mrs. Freeman is not correct. So that is the answer to the question. If you want to be a student that goes above and beyond, you can go above and beyond and explain. However, Mrs. Freeman is not correct does answer the question, but I want to go above and beyond. Mrs. Freeman is not correct because she should only have $728.45. So there's my reasoning. Common mistakes. So common mistakes that I see is students doing the incorrect operation, subtracting versus adding when it's telling you to add. Make sure that you understand what it's saying. Like for instance, deposit. Some students wouldn't know what deposit means, so just make sure you understand what things are saying for you to do before you do the operation. And then only doing a portion of the work. Some students, they would have subtracted the check and stopped at that. Maybe they didn't know what deposit means, so they just stopped there. Miss Freeman would be very upset if you told her she only has $378.45 when in fact we know she had over $700. And then forgetting the units of measurement in the answer. So some students may just put this, and that is not money now. That has no units of measurement. We don't know what it's measured in, so make sure you put the correct units of measurement. Practice problem number 1. Remember to do this step by step, pausing and playing as I instruct. So now let's look at Nick. Nick is buying juice for himself and 5 friends. Each bottle of juice costs $1.25. How much do 6 bottles of juice cost? Make a table to find out the cost of 6 bottles of juice. So first we're getting the gist. What's going on? So I know Nick is buying some juice and he's buying it for himself and some friends. I know that each bottle costs a certain amount. Reading it again. Nick is buying juice for himself and 5 friends. So I know it's not just Nick, it's not just 5 friends, but it's Nick and 5 friends. So now I'm thinking, I know it's 6 bottles of juice he's going to need. Each bottle of juice costs $1.25. So every bottle of juice costs $1.25. So how much do 6 bottles of juice cost? Why 6 bottles? Because he's buying them for himself and 5 friends. Make a table to find out. So the first thing I want you to do is I want you to go ahead, make a table. And if we had 1 bottle of juice, how much would it cost? 2 bottles, 3 bottles, 4 bottles, 5 bottles, and then finally 6 bottles. Go ahead and pause and do all the work to see how much it costs for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 bottles of juice. Pause and then check back in. Hopefully you said for 1 bottle of juice, it would just cost $1.25. 1 bottle at $1.25 is $1.25. So 2 bottles of juice then would be another $1.25, I'm sorry. Another $1.25. And if I have $2 or $2 and 2 25-cent pieces, then I then have $2.50. 3 bottles of juice would be another $1.25. So then I would have $3.75. And then 4 bottles of juice, that's going to be another $1.25. So another $1.25 then. Sorry, I'm adding with each of these. Is going to be $5. He's almost there. He's almost bought for everybody, but he needs to buy another $1.25 juice. And if he does that, he ends up spending so far now $6.25. So the final cost is to pay for another bottle of juice for $1.25. And how much does it then cost? We know then that he has now spent $8.50. So the question is, make a table to find out, how much do 6 bottles of juice cost? So the answer then would be 6 bottles of juice cost $8.50. My units of measurement is right here. Practice problem number 2. Nick is buying juice for himself and as many friends as possible. If a bottle of juice still costs $1.25, how many bottles of juice can he buy with $10? Make a table to find out the maximum bottles of juice Nick can buy. So now, this problem is just a little bit different. Some of the information is the same. The only difference is he has the only difference is he's not just buying juice for himself and 5 friends. He wants to figure out how many bottles he can buy if he has $10. Still, each juice bottle costs $1.25. Go ahead and make a table. Do all of the work, answer the question, pause, and then check back in. Hopefully after doing all the work, you can do it a few ways. You can guess and check. Even the original problem with Nick and the 6 friends, you could have multiplied with Nick and the 6 friends. But since they said make a table, I went ahead and still made a table, even on this problem. So on this problem, I see if he had $10 and he wants to spend all of it or as much as he can, he doesn't have more than $10, but as much as he can, as close as he can get to $10, he was able to buy 8 bottles of juice. 8 bottles of juice, in fact, cost him exactly $10. So I made my table and I saw then. So now that I have all of this, the answer is not then $10. The answer was, or the question was, how many bottles of juice can he buy with $10? So after making my table, I know the answer is he can buy 8 bottles of juice. Okay then. Your lesson homework for tonight is practice book page 70, numbers 1 through 2. Please make sure you do those so that you're ready for the discussion tomorrow. And finally, don't forget to have all of these tomorrow in your math journal ready to go for our lesson. Don't forget to do everything you're supposed to so that you come prepared. See you tomorrow.